Hello and welcome to Math Matters. I'm Ms. Whitehead Timbani and today we are going to learn ways to be a problem solver and communicating our ideas about taking objects away in word problems. How many blue shapes do you see? 5. How did you see them? Maybe you saw 3 and 1 and 1. Or maybe you saw 2 and 3. Splat! How many shapes are under the splat? How do you know? Did you think that if there were 5 to begin with and there are only 2 showing, there must be 3 under the splat? How else could you know? Maybe you pictured the 5 dots in your head. See 2 now and can picture the other 3 dots under the splat in your head. Let's look under the splat to see how many shapes are there. 3. What can we learn from this picture? There are many ways to make 5. Today is your chance to think about how communicators write to share ideas. Communicators listen and ask questions so they can understand. When I have you work out the math story problem later, you can use your counters, paper, and crayons to communicate your thinking about the story. What do you notice about this picture? This is a half dozen of eggs. A half dozen of eggs is 6 eggs. Some are bigger than others. Picture in your mind what is happening while I read the story to you. Ava had some eggs in her refrigerator. What do we know so far? That Ava had some eggs in her refrigerator. Continue to picture the story in your mind. Ava had some eggs in her refrigerator. Some eggs fell on the floor and cracked. What new information did we find out? That some eggs fell on the floor and cracked. It doesn't tell us how much, it just said some eggs. Continue to picture the story in your mind. Ava had 6 eggs in her refrigerator. Some eggs fell on the floor and cracked. What new information did we find out? Right, that Ava had 6 eggs. Continue to picture the story in your mind. Ava had 6 eggs in her refrigerator. 2 eggs fell on the floor and cracked. What new information did we find out? That 2 eggs fell on the floor and cracked. Continue to picture the story in your mind. Ava had 6 eggs in her refrigerator. 2 eggs fell on the floor and cracked. How many eggs does Ava have now? What new information did we find out? We have a question. We get to figure out how many she has now. I want you to get some paper, crayons, and 10 counters, and then come back to me. I'll count backward from 20. Ready? Go. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, come back to me. Let's read the story problem again. Ava had 6 eggs in her refrigerator. 2 eggs fell on the floor and cracked. How many eggs does Ava have now? I want you to work out this problem. You may use your paper, crayons, pictures, numbers, words, or even your counters to show your thinking. I'll give you some time to work on the problem. We are going to share the ways you might have solved it. Maybe you used PlayDoh. I made 6 balls of PlayDoh because the problem said Ava had 6 eggs. Then I smashed 2 of the balls because the problem said 2 eggs fell and cracked. Then I circled the 4 balls of PlayDoh that were left. Ava has 4 eggs now. You might have used your fingers. Maybe you put 6 fingers up because Ava had 6 eggs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then put 2 fingers down for the 2 eggs that broke. Then you had 4 fingers left, which means Ava has 4 eggs. Maybe you made a 5 frame and put 5 counters in the 5 frame and 1 below to show 6 eggs. Then took 2 counters away for the 2 eggs that broke. Then you counted the 4 counters left for the 4 eggs Ava has now. Here is another way you may have solved the problem. You might have made 6 ovals for the 6 eggs. Then crossed 2 of them off for the 2 eggs that broke. That left you with the 4 ovals, which means Ava has 4 eggs now. Mathematicians can communicate their ideas in many ways. Take a moment to think about yourself as a mathematician and communicator. Did you write to share your ideas? Were you able to listen and wonder what questions to ask so you can understand? Take a moment to think, I could be a better communicator if I... Maybe you thought made pictures and or words. In today's episode of Math Matters, we learned ways to be a problem solver and communicating our ideas about taking objects away in word problems. Try to make and solve word problems with your family today. Make sure to communicate how you solved the problems. I'm Miss Whitehead Tambani. I hope you have a great day and keep on counting.